Hey there, friends. It's Ashley with My Homeschool Brain, where you get to dig out the juicy tidbits from up here and do what you want to with them. Today's topic is on student portfolios. What do I need? Why do I need it? What do I put in it? All those good little juicy tidbits. So simple supplies is sheet protectors, 3-ring divider tabs, and a 2-inch 3-ring binder. I have found personally that a 2-inch is perfect size by the end of the year. 1.5 inch or 1 inch is always too small, and the 3-inch are way too big unless you plan on keeping multiple children in that one 3-inch. And I like to separate mine, so each kid gets their own 2-inch 3-ring binder. Putting it together is a very simple process. The first tab in our portfolios is always our state laws. Every single year I go out to www.hslda.org and I print out this current year's state laws for my state. And I know what you're thinking, why do you do that every year? Because things can change. And if I have kindergarten, first grade, second grade laws printed out in kindergarten portfolios, first grade, second grade, but then something changes in third grade, I can see exactly what year this particular thing shifted from we don't require this to now we do, or we used to and now we don't, whatever that is. And so it's a good way of tracking the progress of your state as well if you need to. And let's just be real, COVID has done a nice little whirlwind on our society, and there is no telling what kind of laws are going to change once this is all said and done. So checking that every single year, printing it off, putting it in the first tab of your portfolio may prove vital, and you don't know that until you need it, but it's nice to have it handy. The second tab is each child on the first day of school does an About Me page. It is the, what is my name and my favorite color is, and my favorite TV show, my favorite book, all those fun little cutesy things. And it's cute because you get to see what has changed from last year. So last year they might be into cars, and this year, Disney cars. And this year they're into Ninjago, or the next year they're into the Karate Kid, whatever it is. And so it's just a fun way to track things that they've been interested in all through their life. And then when they grow up and they're like, hey, I was never into Ninjago, I never liked that, I can be like, well, bam, I've got your student portfolio. And it says it right here. My name is, and I liked Ninjago. A little bit of fun there. The next several tabs will be dependent upon you. You can do one tab per subject that you're teaching. I don't do it that way. The second tab will be a list of your curriculum that you're using that year, and anything special you need to add in for that year. Maybe you're moving states, or just some little note that you need to have in there, or you pulled them out on said date from public school, just whatever little notes that you need to have. The next tab will be subject specific. So whether you have a tab for every one of your subjects, or if you are like me, I only keep tests and projects. I don't think their stuff really matters. I mean, unless it's like a really beautifully written something, or the handwriting was amazing and it's such progress over the prior years, or something you feel like tugs at your heart, throw it in there. But as a general rule, I do spelling tests, math tests, and projects. So just to show you an example here, this is Molly's for the 2020-2021. It is a 2-inch binder, and it has, this is a book report we did on R.L. Stein's The Beach House. So that's in the front because it doesn't really fit in anywhere else. We have our state laws, our About Me page, and Introduction to Molly. And then we keep, I have a little tab here. I didn't do like regular tabs this year. I just wung it with what I have, and that's fine too. As you may know by now, I'm not that artsy-fartsy or picky, and I just kind of do what works in the moment. So here's some of her artwork that she's done. That one she traced, and it's mouth and descendants, which I thought she did a really good job on. Sheet protectors come in handy. This is a do-it-yourself foam paint project that we did. So instead of it, you know, getting stuck to the page before, just put it in the protecting and it works. Another little, this is a dinosaur book that we made, and so it doesn't really fit anywhere, but it does great in the sheet protectors. Spelling tests and math tests. And at the end of the year, I'm done. I put it in as we do things. I make sure that, you know, I pull out this week's spelling test we just did, and I immediately go and I put it in its spot. That way it doesn't get just shuffled around or lost or accidentally thrown away. It's ready to go. If you do that all year long, then at the end of the year, you're ready just to wrap it up. It's real quick, it's real easy, no fuss. You don't have paper strung everywhere. It just works really, really well to just keep going as you're going. Why? Why do you need them? If my state doesn't require it, then why do I keep it? Well, there's a couple reasons for that. First, it is a keepsake in itself. You can keep one for every single year. And after they're, you know, in their 20s or even right after high school, when you're done with all of their things, I have to forgive my kids, they're in the back being goofy, but at the end of the 12 years, the 13 years of school, you can just pick out your favorite pieces, put them into one book, cherish it forever, pass it on to your kid, burn it, whatever you want to do. The next very important piece is being able to track progress. You know, if you have children like mine who are dyslexic, all three of mine are dyslexic. I have two of which have dyscalculia. Those same two are dysgraphic. And then my third one, I've never had tested, but I'm pretty sure he's ADD. But just to be able to track progress from handwriting or reading comprehension, math ability, you know, all those things, just to be able to track their progress over the years. You may have just decided, you know what, I'm fed up with public school and I'm gonna, you know, homeschool for just a year or two, and then we're putting them back in public school once, you know, they're in middle school or high school or they're ready. Depending on what school district you're in, you may need to prove work. Portfolio comes in handy with that. Or you may have to look back the last year or two or maybe 3 years and find out what their test scores were, or, you know, what their grades were. And so all that would be very, very handy to have just in case. The other thought is let's say you move to a different state in the middle of the school year, and new state is way more bossy and they require a whole lot more than what your current state does. Then you can enroll your kid maybe into a hybrid program or an umbrella school even, and that state may flag you and say, hey, you didn't enroll your kid until, you know, April 3rd. What did you do up until then? And so again, another good way to track that, even if your state doesn't require it currently. And finally, the final and what I feel is the most important reason to keep a portfolio is, what if Nosy Susie across the street decides, you know, I'm going to report her because I don't think her kids are, you know, on par with where they should be academically. And they report you. And then now you've got, you know, maybe DHS is in your house, or you have to go to court and be able to show what you do or what you've done for schooling, and just to be able to, you know, grab this and get out the door to court, or hand this to your attorney and say, here you go. It's done. It's ready. It's handled. You don't have to stress on finding your paperwork because it's already there. And if you're an unschooling family, you can also keep a form of a portfolio. Now, it doesn't have to be the 3-ring binder. It can be, maybe it's not. It just depends on what you do in your homeschool. But if you are an unschooler, then you know, and you look over and your kid is doing research on Albert Einstein, then just keep a notebook that has this year on it, date it, that, you know, little Bobby was researching Albert Einstein. Or maybe little Bobby decided that he wanted to learn, you know, official math. And so he asked you to purchase teaching textbooks or Saxon or whatever math program that you've chosen. So just keep that note. And you can also keep the tests either in a folder that you just attach to this at the end of the year, or whatever. As you're paying attention to what your kids are doing that day, maybe you just jot down, we read, you know, this book, and this book today, and we played store, and they learned how to draw a frog. You know, whatever it is you've done, just keep kind of a record of what you've done that day, even though there's no formal curriculum or formal paperwork. And if there is some really cool art or paperwork that they've done, keep it in just a regular bradded folder. And then you can take your notebook and your bradded folder and you're done for the year. Just a good way to protect yourself. So at the end of the year, what I do is I do tally in my planner. I tally up what the math grade is based on all the tests that were taken and what the spelling grade is of all the spelling tests we've taken, just so I have a fundamental idea of, you know, we're doing, you know, 70% or 80% or 90% or 100% in math, but maybe we're doing 40, 50, or 60, 70, 80 in spelling. And that way I can kind of track that over the years. So at the end of the year, I take her portfolio, his portfolio, and my teacher planner, and I rubber band it top to bottom, side to side, and it goes on a shelf, and I'm done. My entire year is wrapped up, done, handled. I can move on to next year. So I hope that I've explained functionally why it is a valued asset to keep a student portfolio every single year, whether your state requires it or not. It could prove invaluable. Well, thank you for watching today, and like always, welcome to my crazy. Have a great day.